Oh boy, it's 2024 and it's a whole new year for the tabletop RPG space. 2022 and especially 2023 was a bit of a shit show for the community. Some great things happened and some terrible things happened as well. But you know my channel, I try to look forward with hope and positivity. This list is a mixture of YouTubers, indie developers, and individuals that I am looking forward to in this new year. This is not in any ranked order. Number 10 is just as exciting as number 1. So, here are my top 10 RPG creators I'm excited for in 2024. Terran Pounds, aka Indestructiboy. His channel really exploded during the OGL scandal stuff, but since has grown into a sort of developer's channel for RPG design. He's already one of the top class designers on the DMs Guild website for third-party D&D 5e content. Jenny D even made a video on one of his works. He's live streamed almost every step of the process for developing his own RPG called Vagabond. This is an RPG system I'm looking forward to because it has that fantasy feeling that most want from an RPG, but takes so many streamlined and well-designed approaches with a focus entirely on just the fun. The system itself is going for this like awesome pulp fantasy style like you'd see in old novels and comics, and it's got a grit to it while still being high fantasy and over-the-top action. You'll definitely want to check out his YouTube channel if you're interested in anything even remotely like this. Playtest is already happening for the system. He also has some great videos from the critical eye of someone that has been part of RPG design for a while. I'm excited to see where this channel goes. Dennis Fleming, aka the okayest DM. Another upcoming indie game is the Sagas RPG, that at the time of doing this video was in the middle of its Kickstarter. In fact, according to the tracker, it's not only on track to be funded, but to surpass the funding goal. Full transparency, I'm technically part of the team as I'm doing the layout for the book. However, I'm doing that at a fraction of what I would normally charge, as well as doing some extras because I really love the premise of this RPG. I believe in Dennis and this project. Dennis basically asked the question, what if RPG, but hate math? So he made a universal system that can handle any genre, and the system mechanics are certainly unique. Instead of modifiers or adjusting the difficulty in some way, the Sagas RPG changes what die size you use for the check. Also, the zone-based measurement system and easy mechanics means you can play how you want, whether it's a digital map on a VTT or entirely theater the mind in your living room. My first real experience with this system was a one-shot, and I basically knew nothing about the system. Within less than 15 minutes, I learned how to make a character, I made the character, and I learned how the system works for basic play, and then actually started playing it. All in 15 minutes. There's already numerous actual play channels running this system as well and testing it out. It's not even officially launched yet, and now it's already seeing a lot of play. And one of the best parts, the final product will be completely open to use under a fully open license for development, so you can make and publish your own Sagas content. Ronald the Rules Lawyer. If you like Pathfinder, you might have seen the channel known as The Rules Lawyer and its host, Ronald. Not only are his comprehensive guides to RPGs and analytics both top-notch, but he's been willing to be vulnerable with his audience, to show parts of the real life that he leads, parts that include positive political activism for important causes as a real-life lawyer, causes like helping fights against sexual violence and police brutality. Now, this is not the space where I want everyone to get all political. I do not do this on this channel, so please leave that out of the comments as this is not the focus. But Ronald is an example to remind people that we can be awesome super nerds in the RPG community, but still make real change in the world and do special things. I look forward to see where he goes from here, and frankly, as someone relatively new to Pathfinder that's still getting my bearings, his guides have been infinitely helpful. Claire J, the Infinite Construct. Anyone that even remotely follows me knows that I'm a simp for all things Cypher System and Monica games. It's a system that really speaks to me and lets me be as crunchy or light and narrative as I want. Well, when I first started getting into the Cypher System, there was not a lot of YouTube videos about it. It's part of why I started doing them. However, there was one creator that did stand out, and that's Claire, the Infinite Construct. Although her focus was more on Numenera specifically, it's all Cypher System content in the end. However, she went on a hiatus for several reasons, about the time Old Gods of Appalachia was first being announced. Can't blame her, we've all seen YouTubers recently taking breaks for one reason or another. Well, just recently she announced that she was returning to YouTube, not only for Cypher content, but, like myself, for multiple different systems. After all, and say it with me now, each RPG system is like a tool in your toolbox. There is no reason you can't have a bunch of them for different uses. It looks like she's going to also do a lot of Pathfinder content as well, which I'm excited to see. This time, she hasn't posted many recent videos, mostly just her announcement that she's returning, but it sounds like she's really building up to start cranking out some quality content. Jason Cordova, aka, Jason Cordova, is a creator that has put out some wildly creative and unique RPG books. From the Stiltverse, an RPG based on an award-winning audio drama, to Public Access, a supernatural investigation setting in New Mexico in the 80s and 90s, to one of my personal favorites, Brindlewood Bay, where everyone plays a little old lady in a book club that together solve old murder mystery type scenarios, but with subtle cosmic horror in the background. Oh, hells to the yes. He has a very strong community that he's built up in The Gauntlet, which even has their own top-notch monthly fanzine called The Codex. The Stiltverse seems to have just been recently released, and additional crowdfunding for The Between will start in a few months, with one later this year for public access. But honestly, if there's anything by Jason Cordova in The Gauntlet, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be creative, and I'm going to want it. No Nat Ones, aka just No Nat, as he often goes for, is a creator on YouTube that focuses primarily on Pathfinder 2nd Edition, although he has touched upon a few different RPGs, and I've had him on this channel before with a Ked Talks chat. So after this video, feel free to check it out. He's also had a hand in things like Sinclair's Almanac and more. He's not only a super creative individual, but nice as anything, and a really pleasant human being to talk to. I know that 2023 was an absolute personal hell for him in a ton of ways. Life threw him many curveballs, many of which interrupted his ability to put out some of the content that he wanted, but he's weathered them like a champ and is coming out on the other side, ready to do some great things in 2024. I know I'm looking forward to his Pathfinder content and newfound energy with video games like the revival of City of Heroes.
What year is it?
As well as many other systems he touches upon throughout the year. Channel has grown significantly since I started following him, so you'll want to subscribe to see where it goes. Mr. Tarast's channel, or as he often reminds me, Mr. Tarask, really began to grow as a review channel for D&D 5e projects. Since then, it's grown even more. He now does tutorial videos, other content videos, and has been producing his own content in collaboration with others, such as the 5e adventure Isle of the Dreaded Accursed that he wrote with the brilliant JVC Perry. In 2024, he is not only expanding the repertoire of systems he covers, adding more tutorials and interacting with more people, but as mentioned, he may be having more published content coming out this year as well. Creators like Mr. Tarask is a good reminder to those in the sheltered box of North America that role-playing games is a worldwide phenomenon, created and supported by people in all sorts of places on our tiny little planet. He brings an energy about him that is contagious. Cypher Unlimited, Anthony, Spigs18, Al, Ancient Albatross, and Dean, Alpha Dean. They created and lead what I think is hands down the most organized and nicest RPG communities on the internet. I don't remember what the specific count is, but just on the Discord server alone, I believe they're almost at 7,000 users, and they have presence on other social media like Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, and so on. Not only are they the place to be for everything Cypher related, my favorite RPG, but they have a weekly live stream show, a place for creators to showcase their stuff, even sometimes if it's not Cypher system. And this will be the second year they get to run the online convention for Monte Cook Games called CypherCon. Last year was fun, but it was created very much at the 11th hour. This year, they'll have more time to plan, and so far, it's sounding like it'll shape up to be an exciting and engaging convention. Bob, aka Bob World Builder. I told myself I wasn't going to put any of the larger tabletop role-playing game YouTubers on this list. I was going to try and keep it to those with followers under 100k, which has been difficult because I've interacted with some brilliant people in that category. I know Ted from Nerd Immersion was a dream level player for any GM, but I have to break this for one person. Bob Worldbuilder. He's not only one of the nicest people on the planet I've ever got to run a game for, or possibly even just talked to in general, but he gives amazingly sound advice, solid feedback, and his interview with Kyle Brink last year, along with Ginny D's during the OGL stuff, they were professional but firm, not letting up on certain topics, and it was clear he was there not only for himself, but to get answers for the RPG community. And since then, he's made videos reminding the community of the promises that have been made. Bob Worldbuilder has not only shown himself to be a creator with great morals and good advice, but as a pillar of the tabletop RPG community. His channel has steadily grown over the last couple of years, and I think 2024 will only continue that trend. If you don't know who Bob is, honestly, check him out and give him a subscribe on the YouTube. No matter what system you play, you'll be glad you did. Roll for Combat YouTube channel. As of recording this, I think they have around 20,000 subscribers, maybe less actually. Don't let that fool you. They're actually a decently big deal. They've had people on the channel from all corners of the RPG industry. They've helped spread news and information. They have endless tips and advice. They're publishers of products like the very popular Battle Zoo line of RPG books for 5e and Pathfinder, as well as the Foundry modules for them. Stephen and Mark, the regular hosts for Roll for Combat, are professionals, and they really know their shit. They've been hands-on with every facet of the games industry from large to small. Their advice not only comes from sound minds, but years of experience. They have an ever-growing influence that I'm excited to see increase in 2024, including the guests that they're likely to have on the channel. I didn't realize how hard it would be to just make a list of 10. I feel like I have a billion that I want to mention. Some quick fire bonus ones, I guess, would be Phil Kearney, Nerd Immersion, Knights of the Last Call, Dungeon Craft, Tree and Monk, Wally DM, Crow's Perch, The Dungeon Coach, Ginny D, Zeal Zaddy, Legal Kimchi, Dungeoneers Pack, Baron de Rop, The Dungeon Dudes, and so many more that I just know I'm leaving out. Not to mention companies like MCDM, Paizo, Monte Cook Games, and Free League. But I hope if you got even one new name out of this video, that it will have been worth it. So thank you for watching, and hopefully we see some great things this year.